Hi, good morning or good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mari. Today, me and my group, Jordan and Matea, will be discussing a very controversial topic, which is the case for horse slaughter. In this presentation, we will mention a lot of the positive effects horse slaughter may have. So let's get started. I'll be talking about the history and background of horse slaughter. What exactly is horse slaughter? Horse slaughter is a practice of killing horses for their meat, which is then processed for consumption, whether it's for humans or animals. And like I said, it is a controversial practice due to the ethical concerns, animal welfare issues, and public opposition. Horse slaughter has actually been around since the early 1900s. Horses were slaughtered for their meat, pet food, and other byproducts. Um, But later on, as the country evolved, the practice did decline as horses became more valued for racing and companionship. Origins. Where did horse slaughter originate? Horse slaughter actually did originate in Eurasia, where early civilization in Europe and Asia domesticated horses for food, materials, and labor, recognizing them as a valuable, substantial resource. When did horse slaughter begin? The practice of horse slaughter dates back to prehistoric times, with evidence of horse consumption by early societies, um, such as ancient civilization like Rome, Mongolia, and China. Why did horse slaughter start? Horse slaughter began as a practical and necessary solution for food, materials, and population control, providing meat, leather, glue, and economic benefits while preventing overpopulation and waste. Now I'll be talking about the current events and policies. Fast forward to 2007, Congress effectively shut down horse slaughter in the U.S. by pulling funding from the USD inspections. What happened next? Horses weren't saved, they were actually shipped to Canada and Mexico under often less humane conditions with no regulated domestic option, and over 20,000 horses a year are now sent abroad. Now I'll be talking about the population management. It is one of the lesser discussed issues when it comes to horse slaughter, but horses breed very easily and live very long lives. Without a way to manage population, we end up with more horses than homes that can lead to abandonment and overwhelmed sanctuaries. Horse slaughter, when regulated, can serve as an end of life option. It also prevents natural resources, preventing overgrazing, and it helps keep the market stable, supporting breeders, trainers, and an entire industry. Economic benefits of horse slaughter. How are horse byproducts used? Horse byproducts contribute to industries such as leather, cosmetics, and pet food. Utilizing these materials reduce waste and support related businesses. What financial challenges does the U.S. face without horse slaughter? The care and management of unwanted horses requires significant resources. Without slaughter as an option, more horses are abandoned or placed in overburdened rescues. How does horse slaughter create jobs? The industry supports jobs in meat processing, transportation, veterinary services, and agriculture. Rural communities also benefit from employment opportunities because it does create jobs where areas may be limited. How does this impact the horse industry? It provides a solution for unwanted aging or injuries, easing the financial strain on owners and breeders. It can also help regulate the market, preventing overpopulation and price instability. Now I'll be passing this over to Jordan so she could discuss more about animal welfare and so on.
Animal welfare. Humane alternative to neglect. Regulated horse slaughter can serve as a more humane option than neglect or abandonment, ensuring that the animals are treated according to established welfare standards. Control overpopulation. In areas where wild horse populations become overcrowded, horse slaughter can help regulate numbers, preventing environmental damage caused by overgrazing and resource depletion. Utilization of the whole animal. While euthanasia may seem like a more humane alternative, slaughterhouses aim to make use of as much of the animal as possible, similar to hunting practices, where the goal is to honor the animal's life by harvesting its resources. Regulated slaughter ensures minimal waste and respectful treatment of the animal. Environmental impact. Utilizing horse byproducts. Horses can be used in various industries, providing byproducts such as tail hair, which can be used for violin bows, bones for gelatin products, and hides for leather items like purses, clothing, and accessories. Waste reduction. By using horses for these byproducts, waste is minimized, contributing to environmental sustainability. This process reduces the need for other raw materials and helps in recycling natural resources, ultimately benefiting the ecosystem. Legal landscape. U.S. regulations. Horse slaughter is legal but regulated, with laws like the Protection Act and Federal Meat Inspection Act ensuring humane practices. State laws. Some states ban horse slaughter, while others regulate transport to slaughterhouses. International regulations. International standards, such as those from the OIE and the EU, mandate humane treatment and specific conditions for horse slaughter. Cultural and sociological importance. Cultural double standard. In many cultures, horse meat consumption is taboo, while beef, pork, and other meats are widely accepted. This raises questions about cultural biases and societal norms around what animals are considered food. Global perspective. Horse meat is consumed in countries like Japan, France, and Mexico, where it is seen as a delicacy or traditional food, while in other places, such as the US, it's viewed negatively due to cultural attachment to horses. Reduce economic strain on shelters and rescues. Sanctuaries and rescues. While sanctuaries provide a safe haven, they often struggle with limited space and resources, making them impractical for large-scale rescue operations. Financial burden. The cost of long-term care for horses in sanctuaries or rescues can place a significant strain on organizations, which may not be sustainable without sufficient funding. Slaughterhouses as a stress relief. Regulated slaughterhouses can help reduce the pressure on shelters by offering a controlled, humane option for horses that cannot be rehomed or cared for, ensuring that resources are preserved for those that can be saved.
I'm Matilda Souza and I will be presenting the next 5 slides. There are many regulations in place for horse slaughter that aim to minimize suffering and help ensure it is done humanely. Some key regulations include the Humane Slaughter Act in countries where it applies. The Humane Slaughter Act sets guidelines for the treatment of horses during slaughter, with a primary focus on minimizing pain and suffering. This cruel Crucial legislation mandates humane handling and stunning methods, ensuring that horses are rendered insensible to pain before the slaughter process begins. Approved stunning techniques include the use of electric shock, penetrating captive bolts, and controlled atmosphere systems, all designed to induce a rapid and painless loss of consciousness. By adhering to these standards, the Humane Slaughter Act aims to uphold ethical considerations in animal treatment and the promotion to a more compassionate approach to slaughtering. Facility standards. Slaughterhouses are required to adhere to stringent standards for their design and operational procedures to ensure optimal animal welfare. These facility standards encompass various aspects, including adequate space for movement, proper ventilation, and appropriate lighting to minimize stress and discomfort for the animals. Additionally, the design must facilitate efficient and humane handling, reducing the risk of injury or mishandling. Regard Regular inspections and audits are conducted to verify compliance with these standards, ensuring that slaughterhouses maintain a high level of animal welfare throughout their operations. By upholding these facility standards, the industry aims to promote ethical practices and mitigate potential harm to horses during the slaughter process. Trainings. Slaughterhouse workers are required to undergo comprehensive training programs focused on humane handling and slaughter techniques. These training initiatives aim to equip workers with the knowledge and skills necessary to minimize stress, pain, and suffering for the animal during the slaughter process. Topics covered in the trainings include proper handling methods, effective stunning techniques, and adherence to animal welfare regulations. By investing in proper handling methods through training programs, slaughterhouses can promote a culture of compassion and ensure that workers are equipped to uphold the highest standards of animal welfare in their daily operations. There are a few common misconceptions about horse slaughter. Some include horses are raised for slaughter. This misconception that most horses sent to slaughter are raised specifically for that purpose is largely inaccurate. In reality, it is not common at all for for them to be raised solely for slaughter. Instead, the horses that end up being slaughtered often come from diverse backgrounds, including former race horses that are no longer competitive, work horses that have reached the end of their productive lives, or simply horses that are unwanted and no longer able to be cared for by their owners. Slaughter is always inhumane. While slaughter can be inhumane under certain circumstances, it's not an accurate statement to say that it's always inhumane. Various regulations and guidelines have been established to promote humane slaughter practices and minimize suffering. These regulations typically cover aspects such as animal handling, stunning methods, and facility standards, which aim with the aim of ensuring that animals are treated with the most care and respect as possible throughout the process. All horses sent to slaughter are old or sick. While it is true that some horses are sent to slaughter due to old age or debilitating illnesses, it's not an accurate statement to assume that all horses meet this description. In fact, many horses that end up being slaughtered are otherwise healthy and sound, but simply lack a suitable home or owner to care for them. This underscore of the complex social and economical factors that can contribute to the decision to send horses to slaughter. Even the animal is not suffering from any significant health issues. The horse slaughter industry is tricky, and there are a lot of opinions about what to do about it. Here are some factors that could determine what happens in the future. Economic factors. The demand for horse meat in the international markets, as well as the cost of horse care and disposal, will play a role. Economic downturns could lead to more horses being sent to slaughter. Enforcement of regulations. How strictly humane slaughter regulations are enforced will impact the industry's image and practices. With more regulations ensuring more humane slaughter, it's likely that people's negative opinions about it could change. Technological advancements. New technologies in animal handling and stunning could potentially improve the humaneness of slaughter, which could also help change people's negative opinions about it. It's likely that the horse slaughter industry will continue to face scrutiny and debate, but the reality is that there is going to be a continued issue of overpopulation and not enough homes. So, with some changes and adapting to the times, the horse slaughter industry will continue. Overall, opinion and summary. Horse slaughter dates back to early civilization, serving as a source of food, materials, and population control. In the United States, the practice diminished in the 20th century due to changing attitudes towards animal welfare and shifting economic conditions. Although domestic horse slaughters were houses were banned in 2007, effectively halting the practice within the country, it did not eliminate horse slaughter entirely. Instead, it led to a notable increase in the exportation of American horses to countries like Mexico and Canada, where they are slaughtered to meet the international demand for horse meat and the byproducts. The debate surrounding horse slaughter encompasses a wide range of ethical and animal welfare concerns, economic factors, and conditions related to the horse population management. Proponents of the regulated horse slaughter argue that it can serve as a humane alternative to neglect and overpopulation, managing unwanted horses while generating economic benefits through the sale of horse meat. Opponents raise concerns about inhumane conditions in slaughterhouses, especially in countries with lax regulations. The horse slaughter industry faces scrutiny from animal welfare groups, policymakers, and the public. Its future depends on evolving legislations, public opinion, and alternative solutions for managing unwanted horses, including responsible ownership and expanded adoption programs. Ultimately, society values and commitment to horse welfare will determine its fate. In conclusion, the topic of horse slaughter is complex, encompassing historical, economic, and ethical dimensions. With while it elicits strong emotional response, it is essential to consider the practical reality of horse management and welfare. Regulated horse slaughter can offer a humane alternative to neglect and abandonment, helping to manage horse populations, reduce the burden on rescues, and provide economic benefits through the utilization of horse byproducts. By acknowledging the cultural sensitivities and misconceptions surrounding this issue, we can strive for informed, balanced, and compassionate solutions that prioritize the well-being of horses while addressing the needs of owners and communities. Thank you for watching our presentation.